We are live once again with the Onyx Path News. Welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you're tuning in live, well, a special welcome to you for wanting to get the news on the street before everybody else. Now, this week's news, we will be covering something called the Devoted Companion. This is a book for Deviant the Renegades that we released last Wednesday. It's available in PDF and print on demand. Deviant the Renegades, if you're not aware, is a game of the Chronicles of Darkness, where you play a protagonist who has, for instance, been abducted by a lab for experiments or even submitted for experiments, someone who has undergone tests and mutations, someone who has been in the midst of some kind of toxic disaster. And whatever the case, it has resulted in you becoming one of these renegades, usually with a nemesis in the form of a conspiracy, the conspiracy responsible for your new state. It's a very popular Chronicles of Darkness game line. It's done very well for us. Now, we funded stretch goals for Deviant the Renegades back when we did a Kickstarter campaign for it. And one of those books was the Devoted Companion. So the Devoted are these deviants who are actually devoted to the conspiracies for the most part, or what tends to be more, I guess, antagonistic deals. So if you want to think of it, I guess, in Resident Evil terms, to use a topical reference right now, someone like Krauser in Resident Evil 4 would probably be a devoted rather than a renegade. So yeah. I'm feeling proud of myself for tying this to something that's currently present. Now, the Devoted Companion has lots of new character build options. You can, of course, play these characters yourself. You don't have to play games as Renegade. You can play Devoted too. And we do have more Deviant books. So I think there's one more Deviant book coming out, along with a few other Chronicles of Darkness books. So do not despair if you're a Chronicles of Darkness fan. There are some more books on the way. One of them is Tome of the Pentacle for Mage the Awakening, and I've been running teasers for Tome of the Pentacle through the Onyx Path blog. I've done them, I think, last Tuesday and Tuesday 2 weeks prior. And every now and then I'm going to post teasers from all kinds of manuscripts that we've got coming up. So that you can get a hint of what's in some of these books. It may convince you to buy a copy, or it may turn you off. But the point is, we like the engagement this produces. If you enjoy the blog posts we release, the manuscript teasers, then it is a great help to us for you to comment on the blog to say what you want to see next or what you enjoy out of that blog. It's part of the reason the World Below's blog posts every Thursday on the onyxpath.com have been doing so well. They seem to have been capturing some attentions. We've been running some polls to see what people want to see next. And in general, it seems there's some enthusiasm for the game, but there can always be more. So do tune in on our blogs and comment. And to provide an example of when it works really, really well, last Monday's meeting blog, which covered things like urban fantasy, modern horror settings, and Rich, the creative director at Onyx Path, asked for your opinion. I think it's now on something like 78 comments. Now, some of them are our replies to people, but it's a staggering amount of engagement, really, for a blog post. So do please leave your comments and thoughts on our blog. It really does drive engagement. Now, another thing that shows engagement and is a huge boon to us is people who go over to websites like RPGNet and start a Where I Read thread. Now, if you're not familiar with a Where I Read thread, this is where you pick up one of the books from your shelf and you start reading it and you start giving your commentary on what you're finding. This is especially good if it's a book you haven't read before or a book you're coming back to after many years. So don't be afraid to do this with a book that we released years ago and you may wish to revisit. RPGNet is an excellent place to do this kind of thing because it can draw fresh eyes to a product that may not have seen it before. And you often get damn good interactions with other RPGNet users. Now, we're not affiliated with RPGNet. I'm just suggesting it as a good venue for this kind of thing because, well, there's an awful lot of role-playing games that are discussed there. And in frequenting that website, you may well find games that you were not familiar with. So I want to say hello, by the way, to Nicholas, to Alan, and Bro Meliad for tuning in live. Always a pleasure, you three. I also want to say thank you so much to everyone who tunes in after the fact. These news videos tend to get upwards of 100 views, which may not sound like much in the great YouTube scheme of things, but to tune into a weekly news show about role-playing games and get over 100 views isn't actually that bad. If any of that translates into people clicking any of the links beneath this video, then that means it's been a success. What is also proving to be a success, and we would love to see more of it, is our little media contest. You can win $150 worth of games. All you have to do is create a TikTok video, a YouTube short, anything like that. A short piece of media can be only 15 seconds long if you want. Lip syncing, making a joke, showing us the kind of character you want to play, whatever you want to do. You send that video to us using the Google Forms link down below. Show you're a content creator, you will be entered into a competition to win $150 worth of games. And if you make more than one video, you will be entered more than once. Simple as that. So don't feel restricted by who you are, where you are, what language you speak, or what games you like. The only thing we really want to restrict you to is ideally Story Path games and Pugmire, because those are the games that are at our forefront, I guess our flagship games, if you will, and it always helps to draw more attention to those things. What else did I want to cover? Well, we also keep pumping our. I'm wondering where I was going with that. We keep pumping out VTT tokens, tiles, maps, and so on. Part of that's as a result of our Tasty Bit program. We release another Tasty Bit every single month with a different map, a different set of counters, but also every week for the last few weeks, we've been doing more and more VTT tokens. Last week, we did some more Scarred Lands ones, again, linked below. The week before that, we did some for Scion, Mask of the Mythos, Scion Dragon. Now, remember, if you are a virtual tabletop gamer, if you're the kind of person who likes a map and tokens and so on, then you do not have to buy sets that are exclusive to your game. We have released so many that you can basically mix and match, especially when it comes to modern settings. You could put things from Master of the Mythos and Dragon in a game of Trinity and a game of They Came From. With a push, you could probably do Dystopia Rising or any Chronicles of World of Darkness game. So do give them a look if that is your kind of thing. Last thing I want to cover is on the 28th of this month, we have the Onyx Path game night at Start.Playing. And we should be interviewing Devon of Start.Playing, one of the chiefs over there, very soon on the Onyx Pathcast, to talk a little more about what Start.Playing is, about virtual gaming, what you can gain through playing there, running games there, and so on. Now, keep in mind, if you decide to run a game on Start.Playing, whether you do it on Onyx Path night or not, on this month, on the 28th, we're aiming for a They Came From theme, though you can run whatever you like. The fact is, you can, as a GM, put a price on entry into your game. After all, you're putting time into it, and people can pay you a small amount or a large amount, whatever the price is, as long as they want to play it. However, you can choose to not put any charge up at all if you want to run it for free. Remember, this is a good opportunity for you to run new games and find new players of those games. Just advertise in the game description that you are new to a game and wanting to learn it with people simultaneously. So in other words, you want to learn, they want to learn, you'll both muddle through the book and hopefully have some fun doing it, maybe make a regular game of it afterwards. So don't just see these things as if they've got to be massive blockbuster games where everything is polished and everything is perfect. Far from it. In my mind, the best use of a platform like this is to find new players and actually, well, learn a little about the games that you're interested in and learn a little about each other. Who knows? So, as always, we will have a new release this week, but also coming up very soon, we will have our new crowdfunding campaign of a particular They Came From style. So, do keep your eyes open for that. There's currently a bit of mystery surrounding what the next They Came From book is going to be. I'm sure we will drop that title soon. But you can, of course, vote or comment in the chat here and on the Onyx Path blog about what you think the next Onyx Path They Came From game should contain, genre-wise. Bear in mind, we've already done 1950s sci-fi B-movies. I know that's rather specific, but we've already done 1950s sci-fi. We've done 1960s, 70s horror. We've done 1980s horror. We have done, of course, fantasy movies across a wide range of years. We've done espionage. We have done action movies, although that isn't out yet, of course, Danger Zone. And we've done our smaller supplements, like They Came From Beneath My Bed, that sort of covers 90s young adults horror. We have done They Came From Outer Space, which sort of covers the galactic invasion, the beneath the sea, but from the other direction. So yeah, we've done quite a lot, but there is always more room, and we have discovered some interesting opportunities and possibilities to cover in this book. So yeah. And hello to Big Sarge and Image Muir and Brober Meliad has it exactly right. They came from the Mean Girls table. We will be doing a game of high school revenge movies. All of my games have got to have a sort of dark twist in them, don't they? But primarily humor. So anyway, you can do your dark fantasy in Cyclops' Cave, Nicholas, because it isn't just epic Greek fantasy by any means. Despite the name, it covers sword and sorcery too. So Cyclops' Cave covers Conan, it covers The Sword and the Sorcerer, it covers an awful lot of dark fantasy. Krull, of course, Krull, a classic there, Hawk the Slayer. I could go on, but I won't, because I've got a meeting to get to. So thank you very much for watching. Do pick up a copy of The Devoted Companion if you're interested in Deviant the Renegades. It is a lovely different take on deviants from the perspective of traditional antagonists. And wait and see what we've got coming out this week. Bye-bye.